Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? Big P here. You know, don't you? You know. The biggest gob in sport. We say the things that nobody else dares say. Isn't that right, Eddie Hills? The 6-0 Iceman from Billericay. Four by way of, but the only footage we've got is him knocking the spotty one about. But even his dad, Bazza Epstein, has now come out of his bolt hole. Has said that the Billericay Iceman done him with a left uppercut at body. Unbelievable, isn't he? Eddie chopping men down to size. Eh? He makes Big John Fury look tame. And his killer son, Tommy Fury. Right, you've probably seen it on social media and in the news. We had the Creed 3 film. We all know about that, don't we? Sylvester Stallone is nothing to do with Creed 3. He's fell out with producers and the old Rocky franchise people, and Tony Bellew, obviously being a big mate of Rocky's, he wanted to stay loyal to him by going and being in another Creed film. But I think Tony Bellew's loyalty is more to MBJ, the kid who plays Creed, Adonis Creed. His loyalty is more to him, innit, because he's a lot younger than Sly Stallone. And there'll be more crumbs at the table for Bellew, won't there? Moving forward. Evening, Tony. Hope you're well. So we've got the Creed 3 London premiere. Well, I'm assuming it's in London because we've got Malcolm X there with his huge glasses that he got off Elton John, aka Anti Elton. We've got Malcolm X there, and all the rest of them were there, weren't they? All the London firm were there, giving it large. Now we've got Lawrence Acoli, aka The Source, and Richard Riakporte there in one of the worst ever staged scenes of intense beef I've ever seen in my life. In fact, I'm not even going to call it intense beef. It's just uh, laughable luncheon meat, innit? I mean, that was worst fake beef we've ever seen, wasn't it? What was that? It made me and Michael the Emperor, or whatever it is called, look tamed in it in Nottingham that day when I was whipping the old Redbridge off. Hey, unbelievable, isn't it? But hey ho, what can you do? So we've got Lawrence Acoli out with the Source and Rakporte, two of the nicest kids you will ever meet in the sport of boxing. Very nice, polite, well respected people in boxing. They've both been fetched up correctly. Uh, Lawrence Acoli has got a bit of class how he conducts himself. Obviously, he's not going to be a pundit, is he? And he's not the most engaging character in conversation, but he doesn't strike me as a trouble causer. Strikes me as a kid who puts the work in, and he's a world champion, and he's won everything. He's undefeated. Richard Riakporte, he's got a world ranking. He's chasing him down. He's undefeated. It's a good fight, isn't it? It's two big punchers, two big men going at it at cruiserweight, and I think it's a great fight. Is it pay-per-view? With a stacked card, it's pay-per-view in this day and age. Now, they're trying to make it pay-per-view now, aren't you? You've just seen the fake beef. Now, I'm surprised at this fake beef because, and you can see it were bad, wasn't it? It's not even handbags at 50 paces, is it? That's bad, but what's happened? Have they had to sit Lawrence Acoli down, Ben Shalom, and all them at Sky and say, look, Lawrence, you're going to have to start getting your sent out there a little bit. Because Lawrence he strikes me as somebody who just goes about his boxing and don't want to get involved in all nonsense. But if he's going to maximise his earnings, he's got to do, hasn't he? And this is how it's going, isn't it? So Lawrence has got to sell himself. So They've had a bit of a scuffle. Malcolm X has jumped in the middle, aka Spencer Fearing, and probably if it isn't fake beef, it's a good thing he's done that. But what I find amazing is whenever we have anything like this, Malcolm X, aka Spencer Fearing, he's always in the mix, isn't he? He's always in the thick of it, isn't he? And then we've got Cougs now. We've got Creed 3, and we've got all the world's boxing media there, and TV and film industry people there. Everybody's there with cameras, aren't they? And they find one little corner in that whole place to have a little bit of fake beef, intense beef, or whatever. And guess who's there? Johnny on the spot with his camera. That's right. Here's Cougs. Cougs is always there or thereabouts, isn't he? Hey, hey. How come he just happened to be there with his camera and catch that? Hey, hey. Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, but what will the falling out be over? Well, I'm going to tell you now, right? And I'm not going to say I've heard off my man in the dam or anything. I'm going to tell you now, right? And I haven't heard anything from anybody, and this is just my opinion, so get ready. At some point today, you will all see, or tomorrow, you'll all see the disappearing man who's now reappeared. He will come out. You know, Tony Bellew, the man who wanted to disappear, he's in Creed 3 and is at a premiere. So Bellew, who will go to the opening of an envelope, the disappearing, reappearing man who's not beat a champion, he will be running around today like an headless scouse chicken, right? Saying Sky Sports are using Tony Bellew and his film premiere. He's only got about 4 lines in film, and he like last film. He's only acting himself, isn't he? He's not exactly Pacino, is he? Al Pacino. But Tony Bellew will be running about like an headless scouse chicken, saying that Sky Sports are using his film premiere. His film premiere. That's what he'll be saying, Bellew, because his ego's huge, isn't it? His film premiere to big Sky Sports fights up. So I say this. The Creed, you remember the other Creed film that he were in? With Stallone, when he were in it, Stallone. That film, Bellew used that as a vehicle to big up everything Sky, didn't he, when he were Matchroom? Well, watch what happens today, because I can read these people like an open book. Do you know what I mean? Bellew will be giving it the old big Hollywood star and going on about how he's respected and he's loyal. If he were loyal, why were he saying Sly Stallone had become a friend of his? He didn't stay loyal to Sly, did he? We're going on that Creed film. Bellew looks after Bellew. That's what he does. Coogan looks after Coogan. But getting back to Acola, the Source, and Rakporte, they trust me. I know people that know them. I know somebody who knows Rakporte very well. And I know people who know Acola. Lawrence Acola would not, I repeat, would not have been up for that load of nonsense there. Because let's have it right. If they'd wanted to get at it, they could have just gone outside as men and knocked spots off each other and done a proper PR job on it, couldn't they? Do you know what I mean? But they didn't, did they? That didn't happen. So, but like I said, Eddie Hearn couldn't get a Coley or Rakporte to do anything, could he, like that? So that's a put-up job, that. And like I said, in the mix, you've got 2 cunning foxes, Cougs and Malcolm X, getting the centre stage, and they're not even fighters. So, okie dokie. Big shout out to Welcome Estates out there in Algorfa, Spain. Gary's company. Big shout out Spartan Demolitions. Big shout out South Yorkshire Packaging. Innovation and Alloys at Attercliffe. You know it makes sense. How are you doing, AJ? Hope you're well. That's about it, really. I've got Julian coming on tonight for a mammoth, and I'm talking mammoth, intense beef video. Right? You want to talk about intense beef? Wait while you see what's coming on in my show tonight. That'll be out tomorrow, but there's some good stuff coming up over the weekend. The scripts are all done. Okie dokie. Peace out. All right. Have a nice weekend. Booyaka!